Gotta get that right. Gotta get that right. Here we go. All right. Happy Sabbath to everyone. May the Most High strengthen you, bring you peace and prosperity. May the Eternal One, the Creator of all creation, cause you to prosper mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Let's never forget that. All right. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about today. Today's lesson is going to come out of the book of 2 Kings, 5th chapter. 2 Kings, 5th chapter. But prior to the lesson, I just want to give you guys a little bit of information. Assyria. Let me see. Assyria. Assyrian, pretty much are all the same people. And also Syria. And we're going to read a little bit about that today, and this is why I'm giving you the scoop on who these people are. Assyria was one of the major empires in the ancient days. Assyria's beginning was questionable. They say it was around 3,500 BC is when they're saying that the nation of Assyria came into existence. Assyria has had many kings, many prominent kings. Tiglath-Pileser, Shalmaneser, these were all dominant kings in Assyria. Assyria is the story when you speak about the story of, what's his name? Jonah. Jonah was spit out on the shores of Nineveh. Jonah was told to go to the Ninevites and speak the word of the Creator to the Ninevites so that they can have an opportunity to change their behavior and return back to the Creator. And Jonah didn't want to do it. So he tried to go in a different way. I'm sure you all know the story of Jonah. Well, anyway, Jonah was sent to Nineveh. At the time, Nineveh was the capital city of the Assyrian Empire. So he was really being sent to the Assyrians. So a lot of people don't know these portions of history, and this is why you have to have teachers to teach you, or you can go and research and study and learn a lot of the things on your own, but so many of us find it easier for us to just sit down in somebody's class and let somebody tell us whatever they wanted to tell us. And we accept that better. I don't know why. It's always good to do both things. It's good to have a teacher, and it's also good to go out and research and learn for yourself what it is that's actual and factual. What I would prefer you do is, even after sitting down with your teacher, take notes and then question everything that your teacher has taught you. Go out and research and try to understand and bring forth greater definition and understanding to you in your life. And that will make you a better individual, more rounded. And you'll be moving, and when you speak, you'll speak with truth and power, as opposed to conjectures and questions and not sure, being unsure about things. So you should always go back and research and check out the things that your teacher teaches. Now, sometimes, family, I will teach you some things that you ain't going to be able to check out. I don't care how deep you go. And the reason why is because some of those things are no longer shared with the public, open, and, just where you can just go and get that information. But when I do that, I classify that. It's not law, but I'm going to share with you this. A secret. That's how I do it. And when I share with you what I understand to be a secret, a lot of times those things will not be simply verifiable, because if it was simply verifiable, then it wouldn't be a secret, would it? Anybody has access to it. So here we go. We're going to give you a little bit of history on the Assyrian Empire, and then we're going to get into our scripture reading for today. And our scripture reading for today is going to be in the book of 2 Kings, the 5th chapter. 2 Kings, the 5th chapter. So go out and share the page, invite your friends, speak to those who are not speaking to you. Forgive in your heart those who have wronged you or done something to upset you or to make you feel little. Forgive them in your heart. Don't forget, but forgive them in your heart, which means that you don't walk around bearing a grudge against your brother or your sister because of something they said or something they did. If I bear a grudge, and Yeshaya can attest to this, if I bear a grudge against all the brothers who have spoken ill or negativity about me, I would almost have no friends or nobody that I can talk to or nobody I could associate with if that was a fact with me, if I didn't let things go, slide, and sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. That way it don't hurt me. And that's what I do. I sweep it under the rug like it never happened just so I can get past that place. Because a lot of people get caught up on things that people have done to them. A lot of people get caught up and stuck in those places. And Prince is not that kind of person. You can talk bad about me all you want. It don't matter. Because I know that the Most High is the one that I have to please. And that's the one I desire to please. All right? So let me please the Most High and get into this lesson with y'all so that I'll be acceptable in His sight. Again, here we go. Assyria. Originally a land between the upper Tigris. Here they go. Tag, what? Talk. Got time to talk. Day to Shabbat. I'm teaching. At least I'm trying to teach. Sometimes I learn too. While I'm teaching, I like to learn too. I'm one of those kind of people. With its capital first at Ashur, later at Nineveh, Assyria was taken over in the 3rd millennium BC by Semites from Arabia. Semites. Semites is not necessarily the proper term. It should be Shemites. Okay? But ask yourself that question. What would Shemites be doing in Arabia? Something for you to think about. First mentioned in the Bible in Genesis 2 and 14. Assyria and the Assyrians are frequently named, sometimes as Ashur or Asa. By 1900, Assyrian traders had a colony in the Hittite territory, at Cornish as Assyrian Minor. In the 13th century, Assyrian military expeditions crossed the Euphrates, and by 1100, they reached the Mediterranean. Why am I reading this? I'm reading this because I believe that when we get into our story and we do our research and our readings, we need to know who the people are that we're talking about. This is the Bible Dictionary. My son Landine left this with me many, many years ago, and I just didn't want to give it back. He never came to get it, so he ain't getting it unless he come back and get it. This book has stayed with me for many years. And I find a lot of information important in this book. It's the International Version Bible Dictionary. Very good book. And it has a lot of information pertaining to a lot of things that are not written about in other books dealing with the Bible. So we're going to go to 2 Kings chapter 5. 2 Kings chapter 5. Now there's a lot of things in this chapter that I'm going to read to you and talk to you and discuss with you. A lot of things. This is a very good reading. And if you're not careful, you will miss some very important things that's going to come out today if you're not careful in your own readings. And if you don't have a proper spirit upon you, you'll read these things and it will mean absolutely nothing to you. All you will get is the gist of the story. You won't get the deeper underlining message that the Creator is revealing through the story. And you might not get it all now, but I'll do my best to share with you what it's all about. I'd like to say Shabbat Shalom to all the family that's in the room right now. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, welcome. Do your portion, please, family, and let's work together. Let's come together and let's be together. There were a lot of things that I wanted to talk about prior to going into my lesson today. But at this present time, I can't remember those things. So what I will probably do is take to the account that the Most High probably doesn't want those things to be mentioned right now. So if they come out during the lesson, then I'll speak on it then. And I'll tie it into the lesson because everything was pertaining to the lesson. But here we go. 2 Kings chapter 5. Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria. Now, Syria is also known as Syrian. Assyria. Syria and Syria are supposed to be the same place. Just have different names that they call it. Except in the Hebrew, Aram is Syria, the ancient name. And Syria has its own capital. Now, Assyria has its own capital and its own state name. These are things to consider because Nineveh was the capital of Assyria, but yet Syria that we're dealing with, the capital now today is called Damascus. So there's two different things. You have to be careful when you're reading. But when you look in the biblical dictionaries, you look on the computer encyclopedias, they will tell you that Syria and Assyria is the same place. I'm not going to argue that fact. I'm not going to argue it. I'm going to accept whatever it is that they say. But I just had to make it clear to you that there appears to be a difference, a slight difference between the two. Okay? Now Naaman. Now watch how they describe Naaman. He was a captain of the host of the king of Syria. So you know he had to be a strong military man. He was a warrior. He had to be a man that was like pristine. Because I done showed you how strong the Assyrian nation was. They were empires building. I mean, these people went down in history. Most of their kings went down in history. I just named 2 of them. And they're written about in the book of the Tanakh. They're written, their history, their legacy is written in the book of the Tanakh. Will your name, your legacy be written in that book? We will hope and pray that we are. But watch how they described him. Naaman was a great man with his master. Naaman, being a great man, had a master. Now, most men today, we want to be strong, but yet we want to be independent. We don't want anybody ruling over us. But in the ancient days, they understood that somebody had to be the leader. And then everybody else, don't mean that you're not stronger than the leader. Don't mean you're not better than the leader. Don't mean you're not smarter than the leader. All it means is you're not the leader. So in any rank and file, wherever you are, you do your job to the best of your ability, thereby causing all the people of your region, your area, your nationality to prosper. This is a lot of the problem with the children of Israel today. Well, Prince, who made you the leader? Why you got to be the leader? Man, Prince ain't looking for no glory. Prince ain't looking for no honor. If I wanted to, and I say this all the time, people in the room can contest this. If I wanted to, I could put all that into myself. I could put all that wealth, all that time, all that energy into myself and be a very, very conceited dude. But I know that the Most High wouldn't be pleased with that. I can drive 2 Lamborghinis, 2 Bentleys. I can have those things sitting outside my house. You know, I can have that big house on the hill, the mansion, all the way around the block. I'm one of those people who can actually do that through the Most High's blessings, and I'm thankful, and may the Most High be pleased. And I thank Him for all that He blesses me with. But instead of doing those things, what I do is I give my energy and my time to rebuild our people, to rebuild our nation. And it's not even in all of that, I don't have to be the leader. I know that genetically goes against my makeup. I know that. I know that. But I'm saying to you, I don't have to be. There's a lot of things that I'm a participant in that I don't have to be the head man or head honcho or running the show. But yet I'll participate and I'll give my energy to any cause that I understand to be about righteousness, truth, and justice. When I find that I'm into an organization or into a committee or into a team, and that team is crooked, that team is foul, the leadership of that team is not in alignment with the will of the Most High, then I will immediately remove myself. And why am I saying all this? Because you should have that same spirit. If any time that you feel the person or the individual that's supposed to be your spiritual leader is not in a proper alignment with the Creator, first you question yourself. You go to the Creator and you ask the Creator for instructions, for understanding. If the Most High reveals to you that this individual is not right, you flee, run, never to see them again. Until one day they come to you and they acknowledge their evil doings and their wrongdoings and ask your forgiveness. Then maybe you can give them the opportunity. But other than that, if a man stands in a position of authority and he's wicked, that man doesn't need to be in a position of leadership. And you can tell if the man is wicked or the woman is wicked because of their actions. It will go against the teachings of the Torah. And that's how you learn to separate yourself from them. If they can't keep their word, they can't honor their word. When you come to them in need and they can't help you, they'll see you poor, your children are dying, and your children are going unfed, and they're not willing to help you, but yet they got stacks and stacks, and they talk about having all them stacks. Then something is wrong with that leadership. But let's get back to the scripture. Let's get back to Israel. This is a part of the problem that we have right now in the nation of Israel. I don't have any problem being number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, as long as the organization is rising. We're going places and we're helping the people of Yisrael, not 1 or 2 people, but the nation of Yisrael, because that's what it's about. A lot of brothers and sisters in America, a lot of us in America, we have a problem with that. This is why Israel can't come together, because everybody wants to be the head honcho. Everybody wants to be the big man. Everybody want to be the one who call the shots and run out the rules and give the orders, just like a man does supposed to do within his household. Every man takes that same attitude to any organization that he belongs to, and it destroys it. In the brotherhood that I walk with, it's not about who's the big man. It's not about that at all. It's about getting things done. It's about, what do you need, my brother? How can I help you? And if everybody has that attitude, we don't have to worry about who the big man is. Because if all brothers are coming together to help each other with the mindset that I am my brother's keeper, I am here to help my brother, whatever the cost. If we all had that attitude, we will build something great. We will build something great. The part of the problem is everybody wants to be the big man like they running a marriage. And that ain't the way that this work. Because you being a big man, sometimes you have to be removed from your position because you're not being effective. Where that woman can divorce you, but that brotherhood can. We can say to you, bro, you got to sit down. You can't rule over us. You can't be our leader because you're not right. Okay? Okay. So we're going to get moving. So Naaman was a big man. Naaman was the captain of the Assyrian army, or the Syrian army, or the captain of the king. And watch how it speaks about him. Naaman was honorable. Always remember this, fam. Always remember this. Whatever you do, whatever position you hold in life, always be honorable. Always. Always moving honor and integrity through everything that you do. Without that, you're less of a man. But with that, your legacy will be great, and the memory of you will carry weight. People will hear you, for example, if you're an honorable man, and people know that your honor goes out before you. If a matter arises between 2 brothers, and you have to give a judgment, and the judgment doesn't favor one of the brothers, he will not question it to the degree that he would if he thought you were unhonorable. If he thought you were an evil and wicked man, it wouldn't carry the same weight. This is why you always move in honor and integrity in every organization, every situation, and everything that you do in your life. Honor and integrity are the most important things. Honor and integrity. There are a lot of people, and I mean what I'm about to say. There are a lot of people who do not worship the Creator the correct way. But because they walk in their honor and their integrity, the Most High will have mercy and compassion upon them. They could be totally wrong in the power that they serve. But because they do it to the best of their ability, walking in honor and integrity, the Most High will have mercy upon them. You don't believe me? Who was the King Cyrus? Who was he? Who was he? He was a pagan. He was a heathen. But he walked in his honor and his integrity, and the Most High calls him his anointed. Do you know what it means to be anointed by the Most High? That means that you are a Moshiach. A Moshiach. That's what it means. And he was a Moshiach anointed by the Most High. Now, it would turn around that he will come to serve and talk and speak of the Most High. But, that's the way it goes. So don't question another man because of what you think he worship and how you think he lives. Question him on his actions. Is he an honorable guy? Is he trustworthy? Is he a loyal guy? Does he walk in his integrity? Does he make decisions based on truth and what he sees? Not with the hearing of his ears with flattering words, but because of what he sees, the vision of his eyes. That reminds me of the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, where it talks about Moshe, the Creator talks about how he would raise up one out of the seed of David who would walk and move in that spirit. That's the best spirit to walk in. If more of us, the children of Israel, was to use that discerning spirit to decide who we're going to walk with, who we're going to follow, who we're going to listen to, and who we're going to watch, we will be a better off people than what we are today. Now, because by him, the Creator had given deliverance unto Syria. Syria was an evil nation. They were an evil nation. But the Creator gave deliverance by him to the Assyrian nation. Understand what I'm saying? By Naaman, the Creator, because it speaks about Naaman being an honorable man. He was honorable. And because of that, the Most High blessed him. What does it mean to be honorable? A lot of people have no idea what honor means. I'm going to give you honor on a small level. When you come into somebody's home for the first time, and this is a brother or a sister, when you come into their home for the first time, you should bring a gift. You should honor them. It could be something small. You might not have had a whole lot of money, so you just got the best that you could possibly get. It might have cost $10, but you present a gift to that person. Show respect and honor to that individual that you're coming to see. A lot of people don't understand that today because in this world, we have been lost, defrauded of honor. We know nothing about honor. We don't move in an honorable spirit. But I'm trying to teach you the ways of our forefathers, that ancient spirit. That's how we moved. If you're going after a man's daughter, even in today's time, you honor that man with a gift. It's not about how big, how large the gift is. It's about you honoring him, showing respect to him. That's what it's about. Okay? So Naaman was an honorable man. The Creator saw Naaman's works. Now Naaman at the time was a pagan. He worshipped, what was the Remshikah, I think was the name of that deity. But it wasn't the Creator. And he was full-fledged into that worship. But something he did that the Most High saw and recognized him and caused all his people to be blessed because of him. And he wasn't even the head man. Okay? So when I mentioned to you earlier about don't judge people because of who they call on or the deity or power they serve. They could be serving rocks and stones. But they got more honor than a man who stands in the house of the Most High every Shabbat and calls on El Shaddai. You understand what I'm teaching you? This is a fact. The Most High will bless that man and put him above the matter of fact, the man that stands in the house and calls on the Most High with no honor, the Most High will bring down to the rubbish of the ground. So stop judging people because they differ in their opinion toward the Creator of all creation. Don't worry about that. The Most High going to straighten all that out in the end. But right now, we got a bigger problem ahead of us. We got a bigger issue. And they're not necessarily worried about who you serve, what power you serve. What they're worried about is the color of your skin. That's what they're worried about. And they're trying to annihilate all people with the color of your skin. So then what you going to do? Because one of us individually, we can't really make a change, make a difference, just one person. But collectively, we can take control of the planet and rule the planet in righteousness. And those who come along that are not righteous, the Most High will deal with them. But right now, we need to get our team together. We need to get our group and our people and our membership together. We need Yisrael to stand in solidarity. We need that as one. That has always been my message. It's going to always be my message until we begin to do it. And then this flag can go up like that once we do it. Then that flag can go up. But right now, that flag got to stay where it is because we're not at that place right now. But, Creator willing, soon we will be. I pray that it's soon. All right. So now this man, by him, the Creator had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also honorable. He brought deliverance to his people, and he was also a mighty man in valor. But he had a problem. With all that blessing and all that given from the Creator, that man still had a problem. And you know what that problem was? The man was a leper. He was a leper. Think about this for a minute. The Most High could have got that man because that man was so honorable and so mighty in the Most High's sight. The Most High could have gave him a blessing for himself and took away his leprosy. He could have cleansed him of his leprosy, and that was your blessing. That was your reward for being the type of man that you are. Oftentimes we get our minds, and I'm sure that Naaman was praying to his deity to remove the leprosy from him. What man wants to walk around corroded in his skin with a disease, a full disease that everybody can see and that you know you have? What man? No. So when that man would go into the house of his deity and pray and serve and worship his deity wasn't answering him. It wasn't doing nothing for him, and it never removed his leprosy. You follow me? He still was a leper. Now, how many times and how many things do you pray to the Most High for and you don't get an answer? But because your faith is not as strong as Naaman, who prayed to a false power, but yet he remained obedient, and you pray to the Most High, the King of all creation, and you get weary and walk off and act like the Most High don't hear you. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes we go to the Most High because we desire a certain thing. Like a man or a woman in our lives. We're single. We've been single for a long time. We desire a certain type of man. So we pray to the Most High for a man to come into our lives and be our husband. But we don't wait on the Most High to give us that decision. We don't wait for the Most High to give us that dream and then the next morning we make up and we meet that man. We don't wait for that. Or the Most High to give us exactly what we asked for and he, in return, find his way in our lives. We don't wait for that. We'll wait a month, sometimes 2 months, sometimes even 6 months to a year. And if the Most High don't answer us, we going out to find us something. And we go out without the blessings of the Most High. What I mean is, you don't never pray to the Creator and sit on your hands and just wait for something to fall from heaven. That's not what I'm saying to you. Do not do that. Do not pray to the Most High and then don't do nothing to try to make that prayer come about. That's not how we worship the Creator around here. When you pray to the Most High, you go out and you try to make something happen. So sisters and brothers, if you're looking for a mate, that don't mean you just stop looking at men, you stop looking at women, and you wait for somebody to fall out the sky or knock on your door or ring your phone mysteriously and say, hey, the Creator sent me to you. That's not what I'm saying for you to do. You go out, you actively, you search, you make yourself available. And for you women, you make yourself pretty, you dial yourself all up, you look all good, you smell all good, you put on your long skirt, you wear your high heel shoes, and you look like a boss chick. That's the way you're supposed to be. Now, in doing all that, The first man that comes along, or the second, third, or fourth, or fifth, sixth, or seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, or 30th man that comes along doesn't mean that he was sent by the Creator. So don't give yourself to them. What you do, you may exchange your phone number, but you go back home, you get in your prayer chamber, and you ask the Most High, is this him? Or, brothers, you ask the Most High, is this her? Let me know, Creator. Give me a sign and let me know, is this the answer to my prayer? Because just because they come in don't mean they're the answer to that prayer. You ask the Creator. You see what the Most High does, what he says, what he will do. You ask him. If he says yes, then you go for it. If he doesn't respond, this is what I'm talking about. You be patient and you wait. Wait on the Most High to give you what it is that you're supposed to have. Okay? Wait. Because the Most High doesn't always give you right away, today, yesterday. He doesn't always do that. Naaman, I'm sure Naaman was praying to his deity to bring him healing from his disease, from his infection of the skin, his leprosy that he had. But his deity wasn't able because he wasn't a power. He wasn't a power. So he couldn't heal him. But I'm sure there was other things that was taking place in his life that caused Naaman to be convinced that that deity was worthy of some kind of praise. But he wasn't the Creator. It's a difference. But instead of him praying to that deity, the Most High still, in spite of him praying to that deity, the Most High still saw the characteristics and trait of Naaman and decided to bring a blessing upon Naaman. But watch what he does. And the Syrians had gone out by companies, gone out to war, and had brought away captives out of the land of Israel. They went out to war against us. Remember, we fought Assyria a lot of times. And we had battles with them. And this particular time, they brought out a young lady from captives from the land of Israel, a little maiden. Now, this young lady was taken, her family probably was killed. She was captured. She's an Israelite daughter. And now here she is in Syria, under the house in some kind of way connected to the man who had leprosy, who was a mighty man before the Most High. Y'all follow what I'm saying to you? That young lady had a purpose in her life that she had no idea this was her purpose. This young lady going to win souls for the Creator, and she don't even know it. She's a young woman, a maiden they call her, young woman. She's a young woman, and yet her life lays before her, and she serves an ultimate purpose in the glorification of the Most High King. Now, when she was home with her family, she never even thought that this was even going to happen, that this was even possible. Somebody going to come in, kill my parents, hypothetically, kill my parents, take me, and then I'm going to one day bring salvation to a nation because of me knowing who the Creator was. We don't know how the Most High operates. We don't know what he's going to do, and I know you think you do. What I'm trying to say is, fam, when you ask something of the Creator, don't expect it to come the way that you think it's going to come, or even when you think that it's going to come. Do not get weary. Do not lose trust in the Most High. Don't let yourself get faint-hearted and start saying, I've been praying to the Creator for 20 years for this. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I don't think the Most High would take 20 years to answer your prayer. If he take that long, then you got to readjust yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing that's not right? How can I fix myself? How can I conduct myself in a better manner? If it takes that long, there's something about you the Most High is trying to get your attention. Okay? But what I'm saying is when you ask something of the Most High and he doesn't answer you right away, usually it's something about us, or it's not time for the Most High to respond to us. So just be patient. Give him the best of you. Loyalty is extremely important in the eyes of the Creator. So let's go. And they had a young lady brought away captive out of the land of Israel, a little maiden, and she waited on Naaman's wife. She was a servant to Naaman's wife. And she said unto her mistress, nobody asked her a question. She brought this up, according to the scripture. She probably got tired of seeing that diseased-looking man and said, you know what? There's a way he doesn't have to look like this. There's a way that all this can be removed. Well, Naaman thought that this was forever because he prayed to his power for healing. And it hadn't happened. So he probably thought he was just cursed forever. So when a young maiden turns up and says, hey, listen, I know how we can get rid of that for you. She said it without a doubt. She said, there's a man in the land where y'all took me from, a prophet. He can heal and bring cure and healing to your skin. Let's read the story. And she said unto her mistress, would Elohim, my Lord, were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he will recover him of his leprosy. Very important. Now, it's something I want to bring out in this a little bit later on. I wanted to read that in Hebrew to see how it worded it out in Hebrew. And one went in and told his Lord, saying, thus and thus saith the maiden that is in the land of Israel. Now this man, Naaman, he just received word that a young Israelite woman, she knows of a way that he could be healed. So all of a sudden, he probably wasn't even thinking about this, but all of a sudden out of nowhere, here he comes, wow. Not even knowing that the Most High is about to bring blessings to him, his household, and his whole nation of people. Not even knowing. You understand? That's how the Most High works. When the Most High is about to do something for you or doing something for you or have done something for you, you never see it coming. It just happens. Most of the time, you never see the works of the Most High working upon you. It happens. And then you turn around and you look, you see, you're like, dang, I didn't even think this was possible. But here it is. I'm beholding it with my own eyes. And you give glory to the Most High. I'm talking about that type of thing that the Most High do for you in your life that you never thought was possible, that when it happens, all you do is cry. Tears of joy. A lot of you might not understand where I'm coming from, but those of you who do, you know exactly what I mean. All you do is cry down tears of joy so much you fall on your face, you give it up to the Most High, and you thank him for what he's done. You lose your composure. That's the type of thing that I'm talking about. And that's the type of stress that Naaman had in his life all that time that he was walking around as a leprous man. People shunning him. He had to stay away from people. He couldn't touch people. Almost like the coronavirus. Almost. And one went in and told his Lord, saying, thus and thus said the maiden that is in the land of it, that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Assyria said, go to go. Go to go. How about that? Go to go. And I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment. You see how important this was to him? That was even great wealth even in today's time. If you had that right now, that wealth right now, that's even great wealth in today's time. So imagine how much wealth it was back in those days. 1,000 pieces of gold, 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 changes of raiment. That was very important for people. You know, in the ancient days, people wore those same clothes for weeks. Some people only owned one pair of clothes for the majority of their lives. So Naaman leaves, and he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, now when this letter is come unto thee, now these people just conquered the Israelite nation. They just killed some of our people, took some of our women captive, and did a lot of things. So they are really like subjectable over us to a degree, because they just beat up a war. They just won a war against us. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, now when this letter cometh unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mightest recover him from his leprosy. What do you think the king is going to say? The king going to say, what the? Wait a minute. How am I supposed to fix something? I ain't know, but I can't. because the king himself didn't have faith. Even the king didn't have faith. But that king who sent Naaman to the Israelite king had some form of trust that the story that came from the little maiden girl could be true. And the reason why is because they heard of the glory of the Creator. It was renowned throughout the earth. So if you can find somebody that's in this earth today that can tap into that glory, you hold tight to that person. You hold on to them and you never let them go. And maybe one day they'll introduce you to that glory. Or by you holding hold on to that person, the benefits that come in through that person's life can go out unto you as well. A lot of people don't understand that, but it's a fact. And it came to pass when the king of Israel had read the letter that he rent his clothes. He tore up his clothes. He said, am I God? Am I Elohim? He said, I'm not Elohim. I can't heal nobody. I don't fix nobody. But what that shows me is how he wasn't in the cahoots. He wasn't in proper alignment with the creator of all creation. He wasn't his spirit. He didn't know where to go. First thing he did was panic because he just got beat up. He didn't know what to do, what to say. He had no trust in the Most High. And I understand, but he wasn't the one. Family, always remember you have to build up your spiritual strength in the Most High. You have to learn to trust in the Creator. No matter how dim, how dark, how meek it looks. If it looks like it's incurable, unfixable, learn to trust in the Most High. And through your trust, he will deliver. But your trust must be predicated off of your actions and how you live and conduct yourself and the loyalty, honor, and integrity that you have in your life. Then you can trust in the Most High. If you're living a foul life, you better be watching out for the Most High. But if you really living your life to the best of your ability to serve and please this King, to the best of your ability, then the Most High is with you. And he will be with you. And he will reward you and protect you. Let me read that again. Am I Elohim to kill and to make alive, that this man does send unto me to recover a man of leprosy? In his mind, that was an impossible feat. He didn't see any way that that could possibly be done. This man, we got lepers running around here. They not cured. They not healed. How am I going to take and heal a man from leprosy who is all the way from over there? This man trying to pick a fight. This man going to bring me something that's impossible for me to do. So when I fail to do it, he can wage war and come down against us again. That's what the king is thinking. Because of the king's fear, he lost trust in the Most High. Family, there should never be anything that you fear in life. Never. Absolutely nothing. Take on each challenge knowing that you can be victorious. Knowing that you can be victorious. Prepare yourself for warfare even when there's not a war out there. Do your sit-ups, do your push-ups, run in place, run around the block, run up and down the steps. Do whatever you got to do to prepare yourself for warfare. Save your money, buy some gold, save the gold, put it up, get life insurance, get homeowners insurance, get renters insurance, get all types of insurance because you never know. I'm not saying to panic. I'm saying prepare yourself for warfare because you never know how the warfare is going to come. And you want to be in the best shape physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, the best shape you can possibly be in when that calamity falls. Okay? So here we go. He says, wherefore consider, now we in 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 7. Now wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeks a quarrel against me. King is scared. King saying that man coming the other king is trying to figure out a way to start a fight with him. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariots and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. He went straight to the prophet's house. But I want to share something with you before we get into the meat of the subject. Naaman's Lord or Naaman's master, the king of Syria. Naaman had to be an impeccable person because he just sang Naaman with all types of riches out of his house and trusted Naaman to return back to his house with all those type of riches. Let's say that was $3 million that he gave him. Let's say that was equivalent to $3 million in our time today. How many people in your life do you have that you can trust to hold $3 million for you? How many people in your life today do you have that have that kind of integrity and honor about themselves that you would give $3 million and ask them to take it from one city to the next city on your behalf? How many? You see? If you don't have people like that in your life, you need to get new friends. Honestly. You need to get new people in your life. And your wife don't count. So take your wife off the list. It needs to be other individuals that you can put that kind of trust in. Everybody's not wicked. Everybody's not evil. What that actually means, Total Rabbah, my brother, what that actually means is that you don't have the right people in your circle. The reason why you don't have the right people in your circle is because righteousness attracts righteousness. And wicked people will not be attracted to your integrity, your honor, your righteousness. It has to be a like-minded people. What I mean by like-minded people, people who believe in the simple principles of life. I was in the store the other day with my uncle. He's probably watching this video now. And something happened in the store. I'm going to share with you what happened in the store. We was at my mother's house fixing the hot water tank at my mother's house. So I put the shutoff valve on the hot water tank at my mother's house, but on the side of the hot water on the side of the shutoff valve, there's a little screw that screws on the shutoff valve called a bleeder, and that has a hole in it. And when you get too much pressure in the hot water tank, you release that little bleeder and it shoots out water to release some of the pressure off of the hot water tank, or you can test it to see if the water is flowing through properly by turning that screw. So if that screw is not on that line, what happens is the water, once you fill the tank, it'll shoot all over the place. So we had to keep the tank off. So we go to Lowe's, and we go to Lowe's looking for this little tiny screw. So we get to Lowe's, and we're walking up the aisle, we're walking up and down the aisle, we're looking for, we find the screw, but it's attached to the shutoff valve. When you buy them brand new, they're attached to the shutoff valve. So my uncle, he walks around, he sees the screw, he's playing with the thing, he screws it off. So he just put the thing down, he walking around with the screw in his hand. Just walking around with it in his hand. He said, "Come on, let's go." I said, "What?" He says, "I got it." I said, "No, man, we don't do stuff like that. Hold on." So I go and I find the man. The man come around. He shows me where they sell them at in the pack because we couldn't find that. He shows me where they sell them at in the pack. So we go by the pack. They're different sizes. We go by the pack. We go to the counter. We go check out. And Unc still got that little tiny screw in his hand. Right? He still got that little screw in his hand. So I pay for the pack. I buy the pack. We leave the store. We in the store. We never say nothing about anything going on inside the store. We didn't deal with that subject anymore. We get in the truck. And my uncle says, "Man, you taught me something today." I said, "What?" "Integrity." He said, "That was such a small thing that I had it in my hand. We was ready to leave. Nobody would have even known it. I would have just put it in my pocket and walked out." Uncle was ready. He was ready. He said, "I could have just walked out with that. Nobody wouldn't have known. I mean, what they gonna do?" And all I could think about was the police pulling us up right outside in the parking lot. "Sir, empty your pockets, please." And that little tiny screw causing my uncle to lose his freedom, to go to jail. We had to pay a price to get him out of jail. All that stuff could have been avoided. So Unc said to me, he said, "You taught me something today." He said, "I ain't gonna forget that." And it was good. Oftentimes, and he brought up a situation that he taught me something. He said, sometimes you walk around the store and you eat a grape and you don't think nothing about it. You just eat that grape. You're like, grapes don't taste too good. Put it back. Well, you just stole that grape. In my mind, that didn't register. in my mind, I test my food before I buy it. Now, if I open a pack, that's a different story. But grapes are open. And I always felt like you can pick that up and pop that grape and see how good the grape. But now, if every customer came in at one of those grapes and they tasted, the grape bag would be gone. They'd be gone. But that's what happened with nasty grapes. If they was good grapes, the first person that tasted it would have took it and left. So I think it's more so prone to the person that just go around the store eating for free. My intention is not to eat for free. I'm willing to pay for what I want, but I want to make sure my grapes taste good. So Unc said, if you go in the store, you pop a grape in your mouth, and you don't pay for the grapes, you don't buy the grapes, and you just stole the grape. And I understand where he's coming from. So I said, thank you. So we learned, both of us learned a great lesson that day. When you walk in your integrity, it's just certain things that you will not do. Certain things, no matter how hard it is, you will not do. And then certain things that are so simple, but yet wrong, you will not do. It has nothing to do with the white man. It has everything to do with the Most High. The Most High says, you shall not steal. So that means to deceitfully take something from somebody without their permission. That don't mean if you at the counter and a lady give you back $5,000 and your change supposed to have been $4,999 and she gave you that extra dollar, you say, oh man, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to walk out the store. I don't normally do that. I would actually say, did you count that? She said, yeah. I said, well, what's this? Sometimes people pay me money. I had a guy pay me the other day. He gave me, what was it? $700. He's supposed to give me $700, but he gave me $720 and walked away. So I sat down and I count the money. I count the money again. I count the money again. Now, if I wasn't in my right mind, I would have said, you know what? That's a blessing from the Creator. Let me just take that $20 and keep it because it's a blessing. A lot of times, fam, those be tests from the Creator. They be tests just to check to see what level of spirituality growth you have matured in. I don't question it. People give me money that's the wrong amount unless I'm at somebody's supermarket or something. But when I'm collecting from people, hardworking people, I'll go to that individual and I'll say, hey, bro, you gave me too much. But I'm going to make sure if I give it back, I'm going to count it, and recount it about 3, 4, 5 times just to make sure I'm right. But then I'll go back, knock on the door, or call to brother, yo, this yours, man. How much was you supposed to give me? Because they may owe you something. You be saying, yo, did you owe me some money or something? No, man, I owe you nothing. That's yours. Oh, okay, here you go, bro. You gave me too much. And that's how you do. That's walking in your integrity. That's walking in your honor. I had a situation one time. And I'm going to get back to the story. I'm telling you all this for your good. I had a brother one time. I got cameras in some of the buildings. I got cameras, right? So they watch everything that goes on in the common area. And when you come into the building, the camera watches everything in that area. So I had a guy working at one of the buildings one day. And I left. I left him there. He was upstairs working. And I left. He comes downstairs and I see him on the camera looking through the mail. So I see him pick up something. And he looked around like this. And he put it in his pocket. And then he walked up the steps. Well, his integrity was just shot right then. I can't trust him. That's how I felt. I couldn't trust him. So the girl downstairs comes out. She was expecting somebody to drop some money in the mailbox. She comes out. So she calls me on the phone. Hey, Prince. Did you see some money in the envelope outside in the hallway right there? I said, no. She said, can you check your camera, please, and see if somebody took my money? I said, okay, sis, I'll check it out. I called the guy that was doing the work. I said, yo, man, the girl downstairs says somebody took something. Oh, yeah. I was going to give it right back to her, right? But I had to go and see if it belonged to anybody because I wasn't sure. Yo, you don't live in this building, man. You ain't got no business going through the mail. Oh, yeah, I was just trying to make sure nobody didn't take it that wasn't supposed to have it. So I put it up. I mean, this is what he really told me. I put it up so nobody wouldn't take it. So if somebody came for it, I had it. So, you know, we can give it to them. I said, oh, okay then. All right, no problem. So the girl came, knocked on the door. He gave the girl the money. I think he gave the girl the money before I even called. And when I called him, he went through the whole explanation as to why he had the money in the first place. Okay, all right, no problem. Your integrity should always go before you. People should not have to question your motives. They shouldn't have to question your decisions and why you do what you do, when you do what you do. Your intentions should always be pure, with cleanness and righteousness in mind, always. So let's get back to the story. I don't know how this page turned. But let's get back to the story. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariots and stood by the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a message unto him, saying, go, after he heard the situation, he heard the story, this is what Elisha said. He said, go and wash yourself in the Jordan River 7 times, and then thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. That was too simple. That was too simple for Naaman to obey. Excuse me. Sometimes, family, the simple way of serving the Creator is just by doing what He says for us to do. It ain't a whole lot of other stuff that's needed and necessary to be obedient to this King. A lot of that other stuff is for you, just you as an individual, to keep you on the path of walking as a community, as a nation, to keep you together, to give you common things to focus on as a community. Things like sacrifice, things of that nature, things in that order that we just did because they wasn't totally needed and necessary. They all served a purpose. This was too difficult for Naaman, too simple for him to see the relevance in it. And because his mind did not allow him to see or understand, because it was so simple, he didn't want to do it. It took somebody under him to pull his coat and say, yo, man, if the prophet would have told you to do something difficult, then you would have fasted for a month. You would have wore sackcloth and ashes for 12 days. You would have sat down in the middle of the street and let cars hit you, people throw rocks at you. You would have did all that if it said that you were going to be removed of that curse. Now, I hope y'all are applying this to your life. You would have did all that if it meant that you were going to be relieved of that curse. I hope y'all are applying this to your life. You would have did all those difficult things if it meant that you would have been cleansed of leprosy. I hope that y'all are applying this to your life. But because he said do something real simple, like dip yourself 7 times in the Jordan and you'll be cleansed, you didn't want to do it. Now, how many times did the Most High tell you to do something real simple that you didn't want to do? Believe me, when the Most High tells you to do something that's simple like that and you don't want to do it, and you don't do it, you will end up paying a cost for that later in life. You will end up paying a cost for that later in life. Believe me, I promise you. It happened to me. Years ago, the Creator told me not to be with this particular woman, and I didn't want to hear it. I felt like I courted this girl for 11 months. I want the prize at the end of that 11 months. The Creator said, Prince, at that time I was Moray. The Creator said, Moray, move on. Don't take her as a wife. Move on. And Moray was so hard-headed and stubborn that he disannulled what the Most High said, moved forward and did what he wanted to do, allowing that little head to govern the big head. And it caused me a long time, 15 years of my life, until today I'm still suffering beyond that choice that I made. Had I obeyed the Creator, had I obeyed Him, I wouldn't be experiencing half the heartache and pain that I experience today in my life from a decision that I made 20 years ago. So I'm trying to share with you, fam. It's always best to give the Most High the reasonable doubt and walk in the direction that He's trying to guide you. Walk in His direction, because He knows what the future holds. Me, the little peon brain that I had, I didn't know what the future held. I thought it held a good time because she looked good. And I spent so much time providing and protecting and doing all those things for her while we were courting. I just knew I was destined to get that for myself. And she knew she was destined to be mine. But the Most High had a different plan. The Most High said, I don't want that for you, Prince. Just like the Most High might be saying to you today. And this is why I'm willing to confess my inadequacies, my things that I've done that was totally out of order with the Creator, so that in hopes that you will hear what I've been through and it will help you to make that righteous decision. I didn't do it. I failed. And that was the beginning of my failures with the Creator. That was just the beginning. I've been through so much hell. I had never went through as much hell as I did with that woman. Once that woman entered into my life and became my wife, all hell broke loose. And it hasn't stopped. It got far behind me, you know. I get way more great peaceful times than I do that little bit of a hell time. But whenever that little bit of hell raises ugly head, it's ugly. And I just keep it moving. Because I'm here to do a job for the Creator now, and I have advanced so much in my spiritual development. I have grown so much that now I know how to keep that hell under control, where it doesn't bother me down, and I can keep on moving forward. But back then, that hell said, hey, and I said, what? And I met violence with violence, and I did a lot of old foolish things. Now, people don't bother me now. People say what they want to say, and I know how to turn it off and keep it moving. These are the things that you have to learn to do. When you get convinced and assured of yourself, when you know your strength, you never let nobody shake your strength. I put up that post the other day. If you're the strongest man in the room, you don't have nothing to prove to nobody. And I know I'm strong. I know I'm strong. But I try every day to get stronger. I try every day to increase my strength. I do everything I can to prepare myself for warfare. I do everything I can to make myself like Superman. And one day you might see me. I might be Superman. Sitting up here, my chest out here, my arms out here, my back sitting out here. Husky. You're saying, damn, I remember Prince was a little dude. Remember Prince used to be real little? And now look at him. So when you see my chest out here, and my arms out here, and my back out here, then you'll know that we got control of this planet. Then you know I'm strong. As of right now, I'm weak. And I'm trying to get stronger as it goes along. I'm not as weak as I used to be. We getting there, fam. And I hope you understand what it is that I'm saying. We getting there. We getting stronger. I can't do it by myself. Y'all got to help me to get strong. If you care anything about the nation of Israel, then help me to get strong so we can do this thing together. All right? Just help me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We can help each other. But here we go. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, thou shalt be clean. But Naaman got wroth and went away and said, behold, I thought he would surely come out to me and stand and call the name of the Creator his God. That's what he said.
The problem of the
and call the name of the Creator his Elohim, and strike his hands over this place and recover this leper. See, I'm going to read that one more time, and then I'm going to break it down for you in a language that I know you can understand. But Naaman got wroth and went away and said, behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and strike his hands over the place and recover the leper. Here's the way that you can understand it. When you are in need And the Most High brings you the things that he needs to bring you to recover you from your disease, your sickness, your pain, your heartache, your trouble. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't come the way that you would expect it to come. The Most High, his mind is not like your mind. His ways are not like your ways. You can't demand of the Creator how he's going to do what it is that he's going to do. All you can simply do is ask for him to do it. That's it. Do it. And let the Most High do his works. But when the Most High gives you instructions, you are to obey those instructions and do what the Most High says for you to do. And not a lot of people do that. Not everybody, but a lot of people are expecting the Most High to work on their time and in the way that they want him to work. For example, and I love these relationships. If you ask the Most High for a man, Creator, I need a man that's going to be good to me. I need a good-looking man. I need a man with money. I need a man that's going to be a good husband. He's going to be a great provider. He's going to lead me to you, Creator. He's going to give me all the things that I need to be better with you. Okay? So then all of a sudden you meet this man. Out of those 30 men that called you up, one of those men was the right one. So you call, you ask, you get off the phone with this brother. He sound good. He talk real good. You say, okay, he might be the one. All right, so let me now go before the Creator and ask the Creator for a sign. So you go before the Creator, you say, Creator, if this is the one, let the mailman knock on my door this morning and tell me he got some mail for me to sign for, and it's in a green envelope. 10 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock at your door. Now, you done forgot because you prayed that prayer at 5 o'clock. You even forgot that you asked that of the Creator to know if that man was the one. That was something so simple, so difficult, that you just knew that it wasn't going to happen because he wasn't the one. 10 o'clock in the morning, you get a knock at the door. Doom, 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 doom. You open the door in the blue package. The mailman says he got some mail that you need to sign for. So now you know that is the one sent from the Creator, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So now, you call the brother back up. Hey, now your whole spirit is different because you're excited. Now you know the Most High heard your voice. Hey, young man, what's your name? Oh, yeah, right. So we going to do this. I'm ready. Let's meet. Let's go such. So the brother come and pull up. He picks you up. When he comes to your house, he catches the bus. Oh, well, let's do one better, because the brother might not catch the bus. I don't want to take the brother that low. Let's go this way. The brother pulls up to your house in his work truck because he just got off of work and you wanted him to take you out at 7 o'clock. He just got off of work at 6:45 and he wanted to be on time, so he came to pick you up like he was supposed to. He picked you up in the work truck. You asked the Creator that this man has some money and he can take care of you and provide for you. You didn't ask the Most High to have a man that's going to show off for you. He ain't got to show off for you by having a stretch limousine or a Bentley or a Cadillac or what's that Tahoe. He ain't got to have it. You didn't ask for him to show off. You just asked for him to have some money to help provide for you. You said let him be wealthy. You didn't say he had to be a wealthy man that shows off, walk around with Rolexes, gold, jewelry all around the neck. You didn't ask for that. You just asked for a man that was wealthy that could take care of you. So he pulls up to your house in a truck, a pickup truck. You come to the door. He opens the door. He gets out. He opens the door for you. And the brother looks like a regular dude. He just looked regular. You asked for a beautiful dude. You said, no, I want a beautiful dude. Creator, make him look good. Well, truthfully, a regular dude look good to somebody else. You didn't say, let him look good to me. You said, I want him to look good. You didn't say, let him look good to me. You said, I want him to look good. Well, he do look good to somebody else. You didn't get that specific as to let him be appealing to my eyes. Think about what I'm saying, fam, because I'm saying all this for a reason. And at the end, I'm going to share with you why. So the man is just a regular looking dude. He's driving a pickup truck. He ain't showing off. He got on work clothes. He looked dusty, but yet You didn't even pay attention to the fact that this man went out of his way to make sure that he got you on a specific time that you requested of him. That shows character within him. You understand? That means that he really, from the door, from the beginning, he cares about how you feel. You don't pay attention to that. All you doing is looking at the stuff. Oh, he pulls up to my house in a pickup truck. He's dirty. He got on work clothes. You know what I mean? And he don't look all that good. Let me say, he got a strike here, he got a strike there. He get one more strike, that's it. That's where you at in your mind. You're forgetting that the Most High he just said, this is the man for you. But you're forgetting that because he doesn't meet what the world has taught you to look for in a good mate. You understand what I'm saying to you? The Most High just brought this man in your life, and he brought him to you, and he said, hey, this is what you're going to have. This man is perfect for you. So you say, all right, well, I don't know if I want to go on this date. Because first of all, you don't want your friends and your neighbors to see you getting in this pickup truck, going out with this halfway looking decent man. You used to guys pulling up in the big 250s, blacked out with the high rims, and the dude get out light skinned with all the black hair and looking all good and real clean decked out. Those are the type of guys that you've been looking, they've been like football players, built real big and husky. Those are the type of guys that you've been dating all your life. And that's why you're still dating. Because you've been dating the wrong dude. You understand? Now the Most High just gave you Mr. Right. And because he don't look like what you are accustomed to having in your life, he can't be right. He can't be the one. So anyway, you humble yourself. You say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about what the neighbor said. I'm going to follow my spirit. My spirit says, this is what the Most High delivered, so go with it. So you go get in the car with the brother. 30 years later, you wake up. 30 years later, you wake up. And you say, you know what? I never regretted one day of being married with you. I never regretted one moment of taking you as my husband. Not one moment. You do everything that a husband is supposed to do for a woman. You even give me spiritual elevation to draw closer to the King. Hey, you happen to be fortunate because a lot of young women wouldn't have done it. A lot of young women would have looked on the outer appearance and missed out on every signal and every sign that that man gave to show that he was a man and not a boy. And not a hoe man. Not somebody just looking to lay you and slay you and leave you alone. He was about his business. He respected you from the door. The man even opened the door for you. He got out his side of the truck, and dirty as he was, and opened the door, which shows that he's not ashamed of how he looks. You know why? You know when a man is not ashamed of how he looks? Because he knows he can do better. If I need to go get Dougie, I can get Dougie, baby girl, but that ain't what this was about. There was no reason for me to get Dougie to meet you. I'm not here to impress you in that manner. I'm to answer your prayers. And a man that comes to answer your prayers, he don't need to impress you by looking clean and good and giving the appearance of being rich. When the man comes to answer your prayer, he's going to answer you from the inside out. You might not never get nothing from that man right away. You might not physically see anything in that man right away. You give him the time, the attention that he needs and that he requires, and to fill your soul, and your soul will be fed. There's a difference, fam. And a lot of people don't understand that. There's a difference. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, when we ask something of the Most High, we have to allow the Most High to give it to us the way that he sees fit, not the way that we are accustomed to seeing things. Naaman, he wanted something from the Creator. He says he wanted something from the Creator Elohim of Elisha. He wanted something from him, but he thought that it was going to be the way that he thought it was going to be, and it wasn't. So Naaman rejected it. He said, oh no, he didn't do it this way. When the Most High works in your life, fam, it don't always happen the way that you want it to happen. When the Most High does what the Most High does, he does what's best. And a lot of times, how many times did you sit down and implement a plan and write it out, and then you start doing something only to find out later that you made a mistake and it shouldn't have been done that way. That's not what the Most High does. The Most High gives you what you need to get you to that next level of achievement, to get you to be where you need to be. You just have to learn to watch and listen to the Most High and obey his voice. And if you do, the blessing that the Most High gives to you will greatly take you where you need to be. That lady woke up 30 years later and she was in bliss. She was in paradise. She never thought that a halfway decent, halfway poor looking man with dirty work clothes on can set her world on fire. She never thought that. She thought the only man that could set a world on fire had to be that football player driving that real big truck with the big rims, light-skinned dude, you know, with the full beard and the curly hair. She thought that only a man like that could make her be in bliss and lead her in the ways of righteousness. But it wasn't so. He was a regular looking dude. He wouldn't have stood out if you put him in a pile of 50 men. He wouldn't have stood out. You just look like a regular dude. And he set your world on fire. He taught you about the Most High. He feeds you scriptures. This man prays with you every day, every night. He prays with you. He cares about your feelings. When you got sick, he stayed home. He took off of work. He runs the company, but he took off of work to stay by your side because you were sick. That man with the big rims wasn't going to do that. Most men with the big rims, not all of them, but most men with the big rims wasn't going to do that. Your pick of man wasn't going to do that. You understand? There's a message in the lesson if you but pay attention. But Naaman got mad and went away and said, behold, I thought he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Creator, his Elohim, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. That's what I thought was going to take place. And then they said to him, are not Adam and Farah rivers? Oh no, this is Naaman still speaking. Is not Abana and Pharpar rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? Because they beat us up in a fight, now all of a sudden everything that they got is better than ours. He said, may I not wash in them in my own waters and be clean? So he turned and went away enraged. He was enraged. He came all the way down there bearing all these gifts. He was ready to be healed. How many times do you go to the Most High with an expectancy of something and he doesn't give it to you when you think you're supposed to have it, and you walk away and you go to another way of life or a religion? You go to a religion or you drop off from the Most High totally. How many times were you in a relationship with a man and the relationship didn't work and you left the Most High? Or how many times you was in a relationship with a woman and the relationship didn't work and you left the Most High? Feeble minds do we have. Feeble minds. Naaman didn't get what he thought he deserved when he wanted it. So Naaman got an attitude because he didn't get it the way that he thought it was going to come. So instead of Naaman trying the waters of the Jordan, he got angry and walked away. Never gave it a chance. And his servants came to him. It took his servants to come to him. Somebody that he looks down upon. Somebody that he does not have to obey nor listen to. He commands them. Sometimes it'll be your children who got more sense than you. Oh, Iman. Well, he don't look like that football player, Iman. You're right. He don't look like the last guy that you dated. But maybe that's why that was the last guy you dated, because of the way he looked. Because you chose him because of the way he looked. I honor the woman who opens up and talks to her children, her adult children, her older children. Not the little siblings. They don't need to be in your business. But you can have children and talk to them and communicate with them. And sometimes they will open your mind to things. Well, Ima, may be possible if you would just do what the Creator said, your whole life would turn for you. So his servants came near and spake to him and said, my father. That was the respect that they had for him. They called him Abi. Yep, they call him Abi. Yep. Elio Wairomeru, they said to him, Abi. They call him Abi. And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he hath said to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped himself in the water 7 times into the Jordan. Then he went and did exactly what the prophet of the Most High said. Now, I want to stop there for a second. This is why everybody needs righteous people in their lives. People who can think. Because when you fall off course, sometimes it takes the people in your team to bring you back to course. This is why women, you got to be careful of the men you marry. And men, you got to be careful of the woman you marry. It's extremely important. Because sometimes when you give that energy and that person is a negative person and something negative takes place, they will help to increase that negativity in your life. And sometimes you'll end up doing things that you'll later regret. But when you got a right spiritual guided person in your life, when you turn to the darker half, they bring you back to the light. They make you see things in a different way than what you saw them because you judge off of your emotion and they judge off of reasoning. Okay? So it has its advantages being married to a righteous man or a righteous woman. It has its advantages. Even in your circle of friends, your circle of friends should be people that you can call upon that move in the spirit of righteousness. These are the type of people you should surround yourself with. So earlier when I asked you if you had those kind of people you can trust, if you don't need them, you don't have them, you need to get new friends. So here it is again. If you don't have these kind of people in your circle, then you need to go get some new friends. You need to incorporate new people in your life that moves in that type of spirit. And don't judge your friendship based on money. Again, to the Rabbah, my brother. Don't judge your friendship with an individual based on what they can do for you financially. Oh, this brother don't never give me no money. I don't want to be his friend no more. That's not how you judge friendship. You judge friendship based on the quality of the individual. That's how you judge your friendship. And if that person is of a good nature, then that should be your friend. If that person walks in honor and integrity, then that person should be your friend. If that person shows loyalty to the cause, that person should be your friend. But if you always constantly hear this person talking about people, backbiting people, and putting people down, you don't want that negativity in your life. So you shouldn't. You might have him in your association, but he should not be your friend. A friend is a next level above association, a little less than that, what you call a brother. Okay? Those negative energy people will steal your energy. They will rob your energy, and you will imitate. You will end up imitating and acting just like they act in almost every situation of your life. This is how a lot of men became abusive toward women, because the men that they had in their circle was abusive toward their women. So that young man, he grew up thinking that that was the way that you respond to females, and it's not. He needed more righteous-minded people in his life, but he didn't know it. A person that's a killer, the people that's in their associations that are killers, then they got a squad of killers. A squad of killers. But a righteous man will cause them to stop killing. And let me put it this way. A righteous man will cause them to stop murdering. They will no longer be murderers. You always should possess the ability to kill. If you have to possess that ability. You might have to kill a lamb, a goat, a sheep, a ram. Or if someone's doing some injustice to your children or your mother, you may have to take them out as well to protect the life and preserve the life of your family. So you just may have to do that one day. Never lose that spirit and the ability to kill, but lose the ability to murder. You never want to take the life of something unjustifiably. Never. Don't do that. Learn to avoid that at all costs. Okay? Yeshaya. Shabbat shalom, my brother. got you. No hesitation. Then went down and dipped himself. Now watch how the story turns. Now the story is about to take a shift in its direction, and I need you to pay attention. Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of Elohim. Now, I want to bring this out to you. Some weeks ago, I had a conversation with one of the elders in Israel. Good elder. I love him dearly. I respect him highly. That's my man. So we had a conversation about Elohim. And in his understanding, Elohim was the creator. But he had a whole different twist on things, and it's cool. I respect his decisions and the way that he moves. He's a very wise man. So this is not directed toward him, only to bring out a little bit of information to you. And I'm about to teach you something that I don't believe you know unless you're a very student of mine and you really pay attention every week. But here we go. He believed that Elohim was the creator. Therefore, when you read the story in Genesis, the 1st chapter, the 1st verse, where it says, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve et haaretz in Ivrit, it says, they translate it, as in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's what they translate. In Hebrew, it doesn't say in the beginning, it says in a beginning. And it doesn't say created. Well, they could use that word, the verb create, bara, as create, but it also means formed. Elohim formed the heavens and the earth. I use the terminology formed because nothing was created in the 1st chapter of Genesis. But anyway, that was last week's class. But anyway, that's what we're going to get on. When it says Bereshit bara Elohim and God created, the word God there, they automatically take that word and mean God, meaning the creator of all creation. Well, if nothing was created and only formed, then why do we have to believe that that God that they say is God, meaning the creator? Why do we have to believe that was the creator? And I'm sharing with you that it wasn't the creator. It was Elohim. Elohim is the heavenly order, the heavenly host, the heavenly government. Okay? Now that heavenly government is that which brought forth an ideal. Now remember I said nothing was created in Genesis, the 1st chapter. It wasn't until the 2nd chapter when things came into existence. The 1st chapter was talking about how everything was going to take place and manifest itself. Now, it gets down to the 26th verse. And it says, and Elohim said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. Male and female made he them. If this is so, then that means that if that was the Most High who was speaking, then that means that the Most High has partners. Let us make man. There is no us when you're referencing the Almighty. The Almighty is just one, singular. A lot of people don't understand that. So I took it down and I broke it down in this manner. And I'm coming around to something, and I'm trying to share some things with you. The word Elohim means powers. It's plural. It's a plural word. The singular is Eloah. That's the singular of Elohim, Allah. The plural of Allah is Elohim, which means powers. Now, how do you take a plural word and make it singular? How do you take Elohim, which means powers, and say the power? In English, you put a THE on the front of it, and it makes that plural word singular by nature. The powers. So who are the powers? It ain't but one Elohim that people don't understand. And when you're talking about the power, the Most High, you put Ha in front of Elohim, which makes it the power. And no longer is it just Elohim, plural. It could be any power. It's talking about the power. The first place where you see the power in Hebrew is in the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter, I believe it's the 2nd verse, where it says, the sons of Ha Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. it says Benai Ha Elohim, the sons, Benai, the sons of the Elohim, and not any Elohim. When you're talking about any Elohim, that power goes to anybody. And I know you think when you're talking to the Creator and you want to use the Hebrew language and you say Elohim, you think just by you trying to give it understanding and definition, you'll think you're talking about the Creator. But I want to share with you something on a deeper level. In order for you to use the word Elohim and be talking about the Creator in its specific form, you should say Ha Elohim. Or put the tetragrammaton before it, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh Elohim. Then you'll know that you're talking about Him, the Creator, and no other. Me, myself, I just use Creator because it ain't but one Creator. I would use Elohim sometimes. You will hear me say Elohim sometimes, but usually it's in reference to the Almighty. What you got to do is you got to understand. And even in the English, they move it around a little bit. In the English, and I'm going to say it to you in the English language so that you'll understand me. A lot of times when you see it in the English language, they'll say, and the Lord God. In English, it will say Lord, L-O-R-D, God, G-O-D. But in Hebrew, it will say Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, or it will say Elohim Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. And they will translate that as Lord God. But the author who wrote it in the Hebrew was being specific as to what power he was talking about. It was the power, not just a power, but the power that he was making reference to. You find that here in the book of 2 Kings. 2 Kings, the 5th chapter, the 14th verse. When it says, then went down and dipped, then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of Elohim. Now, to say it that way, the common person would be able to follow along with you because that's all they do. But the author did not write it that way. The author took the time to distinguish what Elohim he was talking about. Therefore, I think you should learn to distinguish what Elohim you're speaking about. What power. The author says, Wayeru, Wayitebo, Berim, Abim, Piamim, Kidabar, Ish, man, Ish, Ha Elohim, Wayoshev, Ish Ha Elohim. We have to remember that. He spelled it out specifically what power this man belonged to. He could have said man Elohim, but he didn't do that. He said the man of the Elohim. He could have said that, but he didn't. And just so that you'll know, in English it says the man of Elohim in English. It doesn't say the man of the Elohim in English. It says the man of Elohim. But in Hebrew, they got specific and said the man of the Creator in so many words. That's what he's saying. So I'll leave that for you to go and look around and play with a little bit and research and do your homework on and find out some information pertaining to Ha Elohim versus Elohim. It'll be a good read for you, a good study, and it will it will elevate you in relations to understanding the Creator a lot more than those of your peers. Because a lot of people don't have that knowledge that I just shared with you. A lot of people don't know that. They're not aware of that. And it might seem like a small thing, but it's not. This is how so many people get caught up in idolatry. Because they don't know who they're praying to. And I'm talking about Israelite people who still walking around talking about God and Lord and all those things, but yet their mind is trying to fix that in association with the Creator of all creation. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Because if that's the case, then the devil worshippers are right. Those people who worship devils and demons and call them God, then they will be right. You understand? That's idolatry. And many of us are practicing idolatry today. It does matter. A lot of us are calling the Creator by whatever we want to associate him by, whatever name or title we think, or whatever we've been given. G-O-D, that's not the Creator. I've been saying it for years. People still want to argue. People still want to fight. The reason why you want to argue and fight is because you refuse to let go. Who gave you G-O-D? Your enemies. And then your enemies translated your book and put G-O-D in there, reinforcing that in your brain. And you grew up thinking that G-O-D was a Creator. And G-O-D, there you go, bro. G-O-D ain't got nothing to do with the Creator. Research it, fam, and see if I'm right. But once you find that I'm right, return back to the Creator. That's all I ask of you. And he returned after he went and flesh and dropped himself in the water, and his flesh came back unto him like a little child. He had baby skin. He was like healed 1,000 times over. And then he returned to the man of Elohim, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. Now this is where the story takes a turn. And I want you to watch it. And he said, behold now, I know that there is no Elohim in all the earth but in yours, but in Israel. Let me read this real quick. Okay. He says, I know that there is no Elohim in all the earth except in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. That man was honorable. The prophet did nothing but told him what to do. He turns around the prophet and says, you know what, prophet, since you brought peace, blessings, and life, longevity, and beauty to my skin again, here, let me bless you. You bless me, now let me bless you. A lot of people will suck off of your blessings and not give you anything in return. A lot of people will benefit from the education and the teachings that you give them to improve their lives, to better their behavior, but do almost nothing in return to you, to give you anything, to do anything to help you in your life. They'll suck from you. They'll benefit from you, but they give almost nothing, if nothing at all, in return to better you, or to help you, or to see you prosper in whatever it is that you're doing. Most people don't do that. Most people are not honorable. An honorable man will say, you know what? How can I make this right? See, I'm the kind of person where I don't want somebody doing something to me, something for me, and I can't do something back in return. I feel like I'm using that person. And I wouldn't want to use that person. So whatever I can do, if it's just to wash his car, if it's to cut his grass, whatever I can do to help my brother, I'm going to try to do it. Especially if that's my brother and he does for me. If he does for me and he does this thing on a constant basis, or he even did it one time, I'm willing to do what I got to do to make things right because I want to even the score. I'm like Abraham. I don't want to be owing nobody nothing. You know what I mean? I want to give it up. I want to share. Not a lot of people walk in that spirit. So the brother Naaman turns right around and he says, oh, ho, Mr. Prophet, you bless me. How can I bless you? Let me give you this, and this. But you know what a true servant of the Most High said? He says, no, that's all right. When the last time you heard that? When the last time you heard somebody, you trying to give somebody something, and they say to you, nah, that's cool, I'm good. When the last time you heard that? The last time I heard it was in the book of Genesis with our father Abraham, when they tried to make Abraham rich. See, when those kings, they went out to war and they lost, and then Abraham came and conquered and got everything back, that king that lost came back to Abraham saying, hey, you helped us to defeat our enemies, so here, we want to give you and make you rich. No, Abraham said, no, I don't want that. Abraham never wanted anything to be contributed to him as unrighteous, something that didn't come from the Creator. And I'll prove it to you. Because you can look at the same story in Genesis when King Melchizedek, when the priest Melchizedek came to Abraham, Melchizedek gave unto Abraham a tenth of all that he had. Abraham never turned it down. He accepted it. He gave him a tenth of what he had. A lot of people teach that story that Abraham gave to Melchizedek, but that's not the way it went. Read it in its context. When you read it in its proper context, you will see that the priest, Melchizedek, who was a priest of the Most High, he gave to Abraham. And Abraham received. But you got to read it in its proper context. Well, anyway, 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 16. But he said, as the Creator liveth, as Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh lives, Chai, as he liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none of you. For he urged him to take it, and he refused. He tried to urge the prophet. Now, I just told you about that $3 million he came out with, and tried to get the prophet $3 million to heal him. The prophet looks at him and 10 changes of clothes. The prophet looks at him and says, no, I didn't do anything. See, because a real servant of the Most High understands that when he doesn't do anything, why should he get paid for something he didn't do? All he did was told the man what to do. And that's all I'm doing today. Trying to share with you the best procedures for you to get in the proper alignment with the Creator. That's it. All he did was told that man what to do. Go to the rivers and wash yourself 7 times. Dip 7 times. And get up and that leprosy will be gone. And for that, the Most High did all the healing. Not the man. The Most High did it. So people in our fleshly state, we always looking upon flesh to give glory to. We're always looking upon the physical person to acknowledge, to give them praise and worship and glory and honor and hold them up high. And it's not about that. It's about the spirit that resides within that individual. And that spirit that resides within that individual belongs to the Creator. Therefore, you give the glory and praise to the Most High King. Naaman understood that, but he didn't understand it from the beginning. He had to be forced to understand that. Naaman said, now I know that there is no Elohim in all the earth except the Elohim in Israel. You understand? And we're standing on that today. There is no Elohim in all the earth but the Elohim in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. He humbled himself and called himself a servant of the prophet who told him and gave him the instructions as to how to be healed. See, a man that's closer to the Most High is above all men. I need you to understand this. A man that is closer to the Most High is above all men on the earth. All men. And he's held to a certain standard. He can't do like regular man. He can't act like a regular man. He can't conduct himself like regular man. And if he imitate the ways of regular man, then all the righteousness that he done is forgiven, forgotten, done away with like it never happened, and he will become regular man. So if you got that spiritual leader up inside your inbox talking about, yeah, what's up? Let me see your panties. Here, send me a picture of you naked. Let me see, turn around. Let me see the back. That man he's a fraud. He's a fraud. And don't let that man go unpunished. Expose him. You understand? Bring it up. Matter of fact, you can post it on my page, Biggest Day, and I'll share it throughout the world. If you got one of them brothers, but you got to have the evidence, sis. Don't just say it. You got to have the evidence. I'm going to approach him first and see what he says. I want to hear his side of the story. Because he might have thought y'all was in a wedding. Y'all was engaged. Y'all was married or something. He might have thought something was going on between y'all. And then all of a sudden you flip the script and you say, oh, I got him. Bang, look. Here you go. So, bring the evidence. And I'll help you expose him if he's evil, if he's wicked. Matter of fact, I might even make a visit over there and go pay him a visit and sit down with him. Because we can't have that kind of stuff in Israel. At all. But a man that's up here with the Most High is not like regular men. He's not like a common man. He should be respected and honored in a totally different way. But he has to first put himself in position to be worthy of that. Just because he's a spiritual leader don't mean he's like here with the Most High. There's a lot of spiritual leaders walking around here There's spiritual leaders that's accepted and approved by man because man look at the perceptions of eyes. So there's a lot of spiritual leaders that can talk a good talk, and man listen with their ears and be like, yeah, I see, he look good, he sound good, he must be good. And he's a crook, he's a thief, he's a charlatan, he's a molester, he's evil, he's wicked. The Most High ain't gonna let him rule but for so long. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out there that's implanted in those positions just to deceive you. So just because he's a spiritual leader, you don't give him that respect and honor until he shows you that he's worthy of that. But once he shows you that he's worthy of that, then there's nothing that you can hold back. Because whatever you're giving to him is like you're giving to the Creator. That's what you have to understand. And a lot of people don't understand that. This is why in the ancient days when a Levite came in your town, people would go out and rush to give the Levite gifts. They wasn't giving gifts to the Levite per se. They was giving gifts to the Spirit of the Most High that resides in the Levite. They were honoring the Creator by honoring his servant. And that's what people don't understand. But when you get one that stands up, yo, what you call me? My name is Prince. You don't call me Cass. Who you think you is? Then you got to walk away from that kind of person, because that man is arrogant in his spirit. Now, if he approaches you respectfully and want to know why you do such a thing, that's one thing. But if he's going to tell you what you can't do because he haven't proven himself to you, then he's not worthy of you walking with him. My response is this. This is how I approach people. Yeah, Prince is my title. But if I don't earn it in your life, then don't call me Prince. Call me whatever you feel you want to call me. If you want to call me mother, then call me mother. Whatever you feel like you want to call me. Whatever I display to you is how you must respond to me. If I display to you that I'm an alcoholic, then you call me an alcoholic. If I act like I'm a weed head and I smoke weed, then you call me a weed head. But if I display to you that I'm a prince and I have princely qualities, then by right you should just call me Prince. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever you feel the service or purpose is that I serve in your life, then that's how you approach me. And if I'm just that nigger around the block, then I'm just that nigger around the block. You know how it go. It don't even matter. But that's how you should be with every man, every woman. Don't give people things to elevate them if they don't deserve it. When they deserve it, then you elevate them and you keep them where they are. You understand what I'm saying to you? But don't let the man who elevates himself be seen in your sight as an elevated man. Any man who elevates himself and puts himself in a position and does not maintain that through thoughts, deeds, and actions, then you don't have to honor that man. Let's move on. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, a burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other deities, but unto the Creator. Is this thing the Creator pardon thy servant? In this thing the Creator pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house, now he's asking Elisha, the prophet Elisha, to forgive him ahead of time for something that he know he's going to do, because if he don't do it, he's going to be put to death, and he'll never be able to restore his people to greatness or anything if he's put to death in this matter. So what he's asking the prophet is, prophet, I want to make this known ahead of time so the Creator will know my intentions. When my master calls me into the house of his God, and I say God because that's what he is, God, a deity. When he calls me into the house of his God or his deity, and he holds my hand and we pray, or he calls me to come in, and I bow my knee to this God, I want the Creator to know that I'm asking him to forgive me. So however he did it, but he didn't deal with him in that manner. And I never felt any other way, bro. Never. Okay. I never felt anything about it. Never. We had that discussion, you and I. I think we had that discussion. But he's preparing the prophet ahead of time for what's about to take place with him in his life, because he wants to preserve his life, but yet he gave his soul over to the Creator. So this is what I was talking about when I mentioned the young girl, the damsel who was captive and slave and took it into his house and served his wife. What happened was she was there for a purpose. And that purpose was greater than what she could imagine. Just by sharing that information, the Most High brought blessings upon this man's whole house and also the people of this man. Because this man is going to change everything for his people. I don't know how long that change took place, but remember, Jonah and Nineveh, those people didn't hesitate when Jonah came and said the Creator's mad with you. They didn't hesitate. And it may just be because this man paved the way for them to be able to see this. You understand? He says, for thy servant henceforth will neither burnt offering or nor sacrifice unto other Elohims, but unto the Creator. Okay. And in Hebrew it says, Allah Zebak. Zebak is the sacrifice. La Elohim, to Elohim, to any Elohim. Akarim ki im la yotze wahe. He says, but until Akarim, they won't go after no other power. Your servant will not go after any other power, but until the Creator. That's it. He had all confidence in the servant of the prophet Elisha that he wouldn't serve anybody but the Most High. But he's in for a rude awakening. Because even in those men that don't show who they will serve, and they can walk in this way for a long time, but it's something about their spirit that when they're tempted, they fall. And you got to be careful about those types of people. And the bad thing is that you don't know who those people are. The Most High knows. This is why it's so important that you keep your mind, your spirit, your body, your essence in tune with the Most High, and you move in integrity, in your integrity, with everything that you do. Honor and integrity are the utmost importance in how a man is to walk in this life, or a woman. Watch what I mean. In this thing the Creator pardoned my servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Creator forgive thy servant in this thing. So he knew ahead of time that this was something that was going to be required of him. And because he wanted to prolong his days, he used wisdom. He said, I'm going to have to do this if I want to stay alive in this situation to be able to help the Most High and his people. Most men today does not have that type of wisdom or insight. This man was serving the Creator. At this point, he became a servant of the Most High. He swore an oath to the Most High. All he asks is that the Most High has mercy and compassion upon him, knowing that what he's doing is no disrespect to the Creator. Now, how did he rectify this? In my mind, I would think that when he went into Ramon's house and he bowed his knee, he prayed to the Almighty. See, because his master that's next to him don't know who he's praying to. His master thinks he's giving praise to Rimmon, but he's not. He's praising the Most High, El Shaddai, El Elyon, El Rakum, Yotzer, the Creator. That's who he's praising. But he's saying, I'm going to give the illusion. And I don't want the Creator to think that my illusion is going to Rimmon. He's not. It's going to the Almighty. And he said unto him, the prophet says unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. Now watch what happens. This is who I was just talking about. When I was talking about that spirit residing, that you got to keep that integrity and honor before you at all times. And you can never know what a person is really thinking or doing in their spirit when they're tested. The true them come out. Now Gehazi was a servant of Elisha for many years. Gehazi went through many battles, and he saw a whole lot of stuff with the prophet Elisha. And watch what Haggai does. Now, back in the day, and I can't really say that it's so much different now, but back in the day, this is where I used to teach that European people come from. Because, think about it for a second. What is leprosy? You find that in the 12th chapter of the book of Numbers. 12th chapter of the book of Leviticus. Leprosy, the curse of leprosy. Is it 12 or 13? 13, I think it is. I think it's 13. The book of Leviticus. So now, leprosy is when a man's skin turns white or pale in certain spots of his skin. I'm not talking about that disease that you hear about now where they call leprosy big boils and scabs and all. That's not what leprosy was. Leprosy was only a turning of the skin in certain places. But now, once that skin turned on your complete body, turned that one color, you was now pronounced clean. Although you had leprosy, you were now pronounced clean and you couldn't spread it to somebody else or infect anybody else. You wasn't ritually unclean anymore. So I always understood that to be the European people. They have a full body of leopard skin, pale, their whole skin. So they will be considered clean lepers. But they're a whole different race of people. So let's deal with that in a different way, different time, different day. Okay? So, Gehazi followed after Naaman. Now, Gehazi was Elisha's servant. Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is all well?" Well, wait a minute. Your master, Gehazi, just said he didn't want anything. So Gehazi had to think of a trick to try to get Naaman to give him some riches. So this is what he said. "All is well. My master hath sent me, saying, Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men, the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments." Now, because all of this was a lie, Gehazi going to be dealt with a little bit later on. But because Naaman was such the character that Naaman was, although the prophet just said, "I didn't want anything," Naaman was eager to try to repay the prophet for what he did. So Naaman's going to go over and beyond. Now Gehazi asked for a change of garments, or 2 change of garments, and a portion of gold or silver, some kind of money. But Naaman, because of the type of man he is, he gave him way more than what he required. What do you think Gehazi did with that wealth? He tried to hide it from the prophet. He tried to get it back into the town, or into his home, where he can do whatever he wanted to do. Just like that man that went out to war and stole some of the things from the warfare that the Most High said we shouldn't take anything. But he tried to steal something anyway. This is the same thing that Gehazi did. Deceit has a way of creeping in people's lives when they're tested. A lot of people will appear to be good men and good women as long as they're not being tested. And when that test come into their lives, because they don't walk in their honor and their integrity, they fail the test. What I'm sharing with you, family, is if you always walk in your honor and integrity, even when that test come into your life, like my uncle at the store with the little thing to shut off the water with, his integrity was in question, and he failed at that time. He did what he was so accustomed to doing, which a lot of people do. So after that, I pray that he learned from that lesson and he increased on his integrity, so that when he's put in other situations, his integrity stands out before him and he doesn't do deceptive things. Gehazi, when he was tested, he failed. Now think about it. He had to ride on a journey and catch up to that man. So he had a lot of time to consider what he was doing. So he was fully aware of what he was doing and knew that it wasn't righteous. He knew it wasn't evil. That was Gehazi's test. What's your test? And when your test comes, will you recognize that it's a test? You could be living in your test right now. How would you know? This is what I'm going to say to you. Even if you are living in your test and you don't know that you're living in your test, if you walk in honor and integrity, you will pass your test. You will pass your test. Because a lot of people, they don't come at you. The people are not doing anything to you. It's the spirit that governs those people that are coming at you, that's attacking you. That girl, she physically, all she knows is that she's sexually attracted to you. She don't know why. She just knows that she's physically, sexually attracted to you. But you're supposed to be a man and a creator. In order for you to take that woman to yourself, there's certain laws and procedures, customs and procedures that you have to follow before you can enter into that woman. Her spirit is testing you. She's a very beautiful woman. She built like a brick house. You want her to yourself, but you don't think that you're being tested. Ain't nobody going to know. Who's going to see me? I can get that. Yeah. She giving it to me, offering it to me anyway. Yeah, I'm going to get it. Nobody going to know. And I'm going to still go teach on the Shabbat day. You a fool. You a fool. It just may be that once you get up from that woman, the Creator take your life from you and you die in your sin. Never having an opportunity to repent. Never having the opportunity to change. See, when you walk in your integrity, that woman wouldn't stand a chance at tricking you. She wouldn't stand a chance. Because if you're walking in your integrity, then you know she's not your wife. She doesn't belong to you. So you know you can't penetrate her at all because she's not yours. You would know that. It's when you don't walk in your integrity that your test, when it comes, you fail. You sitting in your girlfriend's house and your girlfriend or a friend of yours or anybody that you know, she leaves a pocketbook on the table and you know she got $500, $600 in there. You know she got it in there because you just saw her put it in there. She goes upstairs to use the bathroom. You go dip in her pocketbook. You take $200, $300 out and put it in your pocket and sit there like you ain't nothing going on. How could you do that? If you lived in your integrity and your honor, you would never be tested like that. You would never fail that test. Not that you wouldn't be tested like that, but you would never fail that test. It would be impossible for you to fail that test because you live in your integrity and your honor and you don't do things that you know by law you shouldn't be doing. So you would never fail that test. And when he came to the tower, and Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents of silver. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, and with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. So look, he gave him double what he asked for, and then he sent back 2 of his men to make sure that he was safe getting back to where he had to go. And so that they can carry those items to wherever Gehazi was going. So Gehazi went to the door of his place and sent the men back on their way. Said, y'all cool. Go ahead, I'm cool now. And Gehazi went back in the house as if he never did anything wrong, as if he never deceived his master, and act as if everything was cool. Do you think Gehazi might have done that in the past? It's possible. Because usually evil behavior is duplicated throughout your lifetime unless you eradicate it from you. It's possible. And usually what will happen is it will be something of a lesser nature of evil before it rose to that level. Sin starts off in growing pains, which means that it starts off small, then it grows a little bit longer, bigger, then it becomes a bigger sin, then it becomes a bigger sin, then it becomes a bigger sin, and then it's just sin all the way around the board where you're sinning all the time and don't even realize it. And if you open the door for that, it'll consume you. It's a spirit, and it'll take over you. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But when he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, whence comest thou? You're talking about a woman intuition. Imagine how strong the prophet's intuition is.
Women seem to know a lot of things. You know, I don't know how they know it, but they got that something about them. They got that special gift about them. And if you're a deceitful man, the Creator will increase her intuition. It's when you're a righteous man that the women can put that down and it arrests. But when you're a wicked man and they know they can't trust you, it creates them to be intensified in their spirituality, where they are in tune with it a little bit more, because you bring that out of them. But if you are a righteous man and you walk in your integrity, it wouldn't be a problem. And when he came to the tower, he took them, okay. But he went in and stood before Elisha, his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. I didn't go anywhere. And he said unto him, Went not my spirit, my heart with thee, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money, and to receive garments, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and men servants, and maid servants? Basically, he's saying, what, you want to be rich? Is it a time to be deceptive toward the Creator in order for you to gain worldly treasures? Think about it, fam. Is it worth you being deceptive toward the Most High to gain rankings in worldly things? The answer is no. It's no. It's not worth it. The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto you and unto your seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. He says, because you were so evil and so deceptive, Gehazi, the curse of leprosy shall be upon you and your seed forever. That means that everyone he produces that comes from his seed shall be leprous, white as snow. And that's why I used to believe, and I still kind of hold on to that might be where the white man came from. There's a lot of theories in my mind, a couple of theories, not a lot, but a couple, where the European man came from. But this will be one of them. This will be one of them. Because after this, he said that your seed after you shall have the appearance of leprosy, white as snow. Okay. Actually, it's saying you have a skin disease, Zara. Zara. Mixra is the actual way that they put it, a skin disease. All right. So we're going to close out there. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? I give it a few moments. Does anyone have any questions? We're about to close out our lesson. If there are no questions, we're going to close it out. And we're going to bid everyone a happy Shabbat. Okay, so I see there's no questions. You have a question. Okay, what's your question, Aki? What would be your question? Im Yotze, we'll see if we can answer it. If it be the will of the Most High, or the Creator, we'll have an answer. And I assume that you're typing, so I'm going to be patient and I'll wait. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. So I pray that you've taken from this lesson today that you are to always walk in your integrity and honor at all times. You always put these things before you in all of your dealings that you do and how you move. All right, let's see what the question is. Why aren't you reverenced more as the power guide, teacher, moray as you are? Like, why am I just now finding about you? I'm hearing through my sister, Princess, last year through my sister. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't your time. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. If you feel that way, you do it. Always be the light that you wish to see in others. You put it out there. Do what you got to do. I don't know. I like standing in the dark though, because too much attention brings out the wrong audience and be trouble sometimes. But I've been getting answered that question for a very long time. All I say is, if it's the Most High will, it'll be. So if it isn't His will, it's not going to be. Bro, touching my heart, man. I've been searching for guys like you. For real, for real. All right, may the Most High be praised and pleased with your words and your actions. And I pray that I get to live up to those standards and expectancies of you through your life and others like you. I pray that I do. See, my mind is real big inside of me, though. I think I'm way up there. I do. And certain things are just beneath me in a very arrogant way. Certain things are just beneath me, but other people don't feel or see or think as I do. It's just me. Certain things, people can come to you and say, well, Prince did this, Prince did that, and just by my character alone, you would know you're telling a story. Prince would never do nothing like that. And you can stand on it because Prince won't. That's not how I move. Anything I do in the light, broad daylight, so everybody can see. So it don't surprise nobody. But my integrity always walks before me. I'll let the brother, I'll let the sister, I'll let the people know what it is that needs to be done. If they refuse to do it, it's okay. I'm not going to make you do anything. I'll just move on without you. But I'll let you know what's going on before. Give you an opportunity to make a decision. All right? Good question, though. But if you feel it needs to be put out there, you feel like it need to grow a little more, put a little bit more energy, then you take the line, you take the reins, and you start getting out there doing it. And then maybe other people will catch on. I don't know. Maybe other people will get on. But I'm pleased that you would feel that I am worthy of all that. But you know who really gets the praise, and that's the Most High, creator of all creation. To Him be the glory forever and forever. Do we have any other questions? But I'm honored, my brother. Truly I am. Are there any other questions? All right. We're going to close out. We make prayer 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and before we go down to sleep at night. We make prayer. We fast every Tuesday night at 12 o'clock till Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Every week. This is what we do. And it would be good for you all to join in, because where there's strength where there's unity. I'm glad to be of service. Truly I am. Glad to be of service. It takes a big man to even admit the things that you're admitting, or even say the things that you're saying. And most men will suck, but never admit as to where they got these things, or where they learned these things, or the character of another man. So that's a big thing on your behalf too. So I take my hat off to you, because a lot of men don't do those type of things. They think it's sissified or punkified, and I see it as honorable. Just honorable for a man to hold another man to another level of standards in his life. It's honorable. So may the Most High be pleased with your efforts as well. All right, we're going to close out now, y'all, because nobody else has any other questions. If you did, you would have asked them. So may the Most High be pleased with all of your efforts, all of our efforts, and all that we do. So I was saying that we fast Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, Tuesday night at 12 o'clock, until Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, and we ask that you all would join in with us to be a part of that. And that's absolutely right. They'll praise it in secret, but not in public. And that's okay. My whole thing is, as long as they change their lives toward the Creator, then I'm cool. They ain't never got to say nothing to me in person. But as long as they turn the direction of their relationship and be better with the Almighty and truthful and loyal with the Almighty, then Prince is cool with that. It's cool with that. Believe me. All right? So I'm going to bid you all Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High be with you all forever and forever. Shalom.